Guys, welcome. You're listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming. In today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we're going to be looking at things that people may have missed. You may know them all, you may know some, or you may not know any. If you know of any other things that others may not have known, whether this be locations, hidden weapons, or character interactions for example, feel free to let everyone know via the comment section below. I've covered RDR2 secrets in previous videos, so I'll be doing my best not to reuse old content, and apologies in advance if I mention something that I have before. If the video does well, I plan on making a second one, or even a third. So if you enjoyed today's content, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone you think may enjoy it. Please be aware before proceeding that there may and will be potential spoilers ahead. With that being said, let's get started. 15 secrets still unseen by some players, Red Dead Redemption 2. The first thing I want to show you guys today is a ghostly well just south of Manzanita Post. If you explore the area of Bear Claw Camp, towards the rear you will come across a well containing a rope ladder. Climbing down won't reveal much of anything unless you're using a lantern. While the lantern is active, everything seems normal, but watch what happens when you extinguish the light. Here you can see the ghostly outlined betrayal of Arthur Morgan. I find that this is probably best tried during nightfall. Number 2. Josiah Trelawny is an eccentric character whose participation with the Vandalin gang is infrequent, as he constantly leaves and reappears during the tale of Red Dead Redemption 2. Many have wondered where it is that he actually goes, as he's always very hush-hush about his personal life. But if you visit this location in Saint-Denis, you will discover that Josiah is actually a family man who has both a wife and children. Let's listen to the following clip.
That was absolutely delicious, my dear. Thank you. Well, I think a toast is in order, don't you? Here, let's fill that water glass, Tarkin. It's unlucky to cheers on an empty glass. Okay. To the Trelawnys. It's good to be home.
The Trelawnys! Are you staying now, Daddy?
I wish I could, my boy. I really do. But business calls. Oh, I almost forgot. I don't suppose anybody here would be interested in, say, present?
Me!
Okay. This is for you.
Wow! Thanks!
And this one's for you, Cornelius.
A spinning top!
I got that in a town called Blackwater. And last but not least, for you, my dear.
Aw, thank you.
Now run along and play, boys. Let your mother and I read the newspapers.
In Act 3 today, one of the bounty hunting missions when you try to capture Joshua Brown will take you to Beryl's Dream, located in West Elizabeth. But if you visit this area at another time, you will notice upon entry that there's a detonation plunger near the entrance. Activating this will blow away the debris blocking your path, granting you access further into the mine. Travelling through, you will soon come across the corpse of a man, an apparent murder victim. It's here you will find both the rare wild blade knife and the miner's helmet. Interestingly, the miner's helmet is still in working condition, and its light can be used to guide your way. For number 4, we're heading back to the first town we discover in the game, Valentine. Heading to the northern end of town will sometimes prompt a funny NPC interaction that I think some players may have missed. Upon approaching, you will see 2 men peeking through the window of a home, mockingly making remarks about its inhabitant, who we soon learn is called Big Hank.
We can't keep this to ourselves. It would be wrong.
Hell no. The town has a right to know. Big Hank likes a spank.
Oh, come on, let's go.
The hell are you two peeping at?
Shit, come on.
What's so damn funny, anyway?
Well, I've been a bad boy again, Mama. A bad, bad boy.
Yes, you have.
Oh, well, don't go easy on me. I need to be taught a lesson. Oh, yeah, that's more like it. Close the drapes. If you tell us so, I swear I'll kill you.
Thank you for the show.
For number 5 today, we need to travel to Thompson Stead, not far from the town of Rhodes. Most players will know this location from the side quest, The Iniquities of History, in which, as either Arthur or John, we are tasked by Jeremiah Thompson in retrieving several items from his former home. Playing through this mission will reveal that Mr. Thompson was in fact a former slaver, as we discover a holding cell in the basement of his home. But what some may have missed is actually outside of the home, and once again, we're travelling down a well. In doing so, with the aid of a lantern, players will discover scratch markings upon the walls, indicating that Thompson had held at least one victim inside. Number 6. For this, we will need to travel up north to the Grizzlies, or more specifically, near Cairn Lake. It's out here, in this snow-covered region, that players can encounter a stranger event. There's a hunter who's lost his friend, Tucker. The hunter requires the player to help him in his search. After scouring the area, we soon learn that the poor soul has met his end, in what appears to be a vicious attack of some sorts. When we return to inform the hunter of his friend's fate, most players believe this is the end of the short quest, but if you follow the hunter to his deceased friend, there's even more interaction to be had.
Shit. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Oh, Jesus, no!
Number 7 takes us back south, just east of Manzanita Post. At this location, players can discover an abandoned travelling circus, which they can make note of in their journal. Exploring the rear of one of the wagons, you will find a creepy fortune teller in the form of a doll. When prompted, the teller will make accurate comments on the player's appearance.
I am Madame Irene. Come close and bathe in my beauty. A tangled web is woven in life, and your tangled web should have been cut a long time ago, for your hair blinds you to the world around you.
For number 8 today, we need to travel back to the city of Saint-Denis. As you will know, shop locations in the game are all marked with icons, but did you realise that if you head to the market near the train station, next door to the butcher, behind the general store, there's an active shop that players can purchase from that isn't shown on the map. It's a small detail, but one that a lot of people may not have realised. Number 9. Before I tell you this one, as warned at the beginning of this video, there will be a major spoiler for the story of the title, and if you wish to skip ahead to the next one, you can do so by following the timestamp displayed on screen now. In the final mission of the game, after the ferocious shootout leading to the fall of Michael Bell, the player can later return to this location and pick up a revolver from the now frozen corpse of Micah. Closely inspecting the weapon will reveal an engravement along the barrel, reading "Vengeance is hereby mine." Number 10 takes us near the Dakota River in the Grizzlies West. It's at this location that the player will come across a locked cabin. After either using a lockbreaker or simply kicking the door in, you will discover a saddening scene. In the home lay the bodies of 2 young boys. Searching the home, you can find a letter from the children's mother. It reads the following: "Glenn and Eddie, I've gone to track down those men and get our money back. The door's locked and the windows are boarded shut. Promise me you won't answer to nobody who comes calling, even if you think you know them. There's enough food and water for 4 days or more, but I should be home by tomorrow night at the latest. Practice your reading and writing for me. All my love, Mama. We learned that poor Glenn and Eddie had unfortunately starved to death after their mother had never returned. Number 11. To the west of Brandywine Drop, just south of Dover Hill, players can come across a small home. Upon entering, a horrific sight can be found. The bodies of 3 people lay burnt, and a smouldering hole resting between all 3. Inspecting the hole, the player can retrieve a meteorite. Something that some may have missed about this is just a stone's throw away from the home itself. At the left red marking I've made, players can find a much larger meteorite that has done significantly more damage than a smaller one. Arthur will note this in his journal, stating that he has found a rock that has fallen from the heavens. For number 12, we need to head back into the snowy mountains, this time to a cabin known as Dorman Crest. Nobody is home at this location, but outside, players can find a trail leading some distance away from the cabin. Following this trail will reveal the homeowner, now frozen to death, sat upon a mountainside, weapon in hand. Nobody knows why this man froze to death in the snow when he lived only a short distance away. Number 13. Just north of Moonstone Pond, to the west of O'Cray's Run, players can come across the body of a sculptor, who at the time of his death was working on his masterpiece, dedicated to a woman he loved. The man's death was self-inflicted, as we can tell. You can find a letter detailing his reasons. He spent so much time working on the art piece that he was often away from home, leading to his wife becoming unfaithful. He details that he lost her to that terrible French cad and describes him as nothing more than a scribbler. He is of course referring to Charles Chatanet, whom the player can find at Doyle's Tavern in Saint-Denis. At 14, we have another minor spoiler ahead. During chapter 2 of the game, Arthur is instructed to collect a debt from a man known as Thomas Downes. Without revealing too much, we learn that Mr. Downes has a wife and child, who play a pretty large part later on in the title. Edith Downes and her son Archie have had their troubles, and the last most people see of them is in the town of Ansburg after losing their ranch due to financial difficulties. But upon completion of the game, during the ending credits, some players may have missed that we see the mother and son one last time, and it appears that they are in a much better situation. Reading the Blackwater Ledger, number 75, will reveal that Mrs. Downes and her son, in 1907, are the proud owners of a golf course somewhere out west, among several other businesses. Our final one today, at number 15, comes from a letter found in a lockbox on the small island just off the bayou. The letter was written by Lucille Brathwaite and is addressed to one Douglas Gray. Those who have played chapter 3 of the game will no doubt know of the feud between the Greys and the Braithwaites, although neither family knows quite what they're fighting about. The letter goes on to state the following. June 12, 1806. My dearest Douglas, the mere act of writing your name weakens me with longing. My exile in Connecticut has endured barely 3 weeks, but it already feels like a lifetime since I last saw your wonderful smile. Why should the family into which I was born, and the surname that was imposed upon me, dictate whom I can and cannot love? Like you always say, however, there are so many less fortunate than ourselves, and subject to far worse partiality and narrow-mindedness. Please take all that gold to the group I told you about. It should provide them with enough funding for another 2 years of operation so they can keep pressure on Congress to abolish the importation of slaves into the country once and for all. Our two families are so blinded by avarice and bitterness that either will not realize it is missing, or they will assume the other has stolen from them. Then come for me, my love, as we planned, and we will flee somewhere far away, down to South America or across Europe, where we can simply live our lives as Douglas and Lucille, not as Master Grey and Miss Brathwaite. Yours always, Lucille. With this, we finally have a better understanding of the feud between the families. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and wish to see another one similar, let me know in the comment section below. Hit like and think about subscribing too. You can also get in touch via my Instagram, that's at Filbee Gaming. Do you have any secrets or locations as such that you feel other players may have missed? Feel free to let us all know. Thank you all for watching, you've been listening to Phil, and I'll see you all in the next one.